Michael Jackson's life reads like a Hollywood script written by someone who didn't believe in subtlety. A child star who moonwalked into history. A musical genius who redefined pop music. But beneath the glittering surface lies a far more complex story, one of unimaginable wealth, questionable decisions, and a man who seemingly had everything yet lost control of it all. Today, we're uncovering how the king of pop built a billion-dollar empire, and the shocking reasons why it all came crashing down. The Gary, Indiana beginning. Michael Jackson's story didn't start in mansions or recording studios. Born in 1958 in a working-class neighborhood in Gary, Indiana, Michael was the seventh of 9 children in the Jackson family. His father, Joe Jackson, was a steelworker turned music promoter with dreams bigger than his town. By age 5, Michael was already performing with his brothers in a group that would become the Jackson 5. His childhood wasn't idyllic. Joe Jackson was notoriously strict, sometimes abusive in his pursuit of perfection. Yet this pressure cooker environment forged something extraordinary. By age 10, Michael was already generating income that would have been remarkable for an adult. The Jackson 5 had become a phenomenon, and Michael was the undeniable star. The Motown years and first fortune. When the Jackson 5 signed with Motown Records in 1969, Michael was just 11 years old. Berry Gordy, the legendary founder, recognized something special in the boy. The group's early albums were instant classics: I Want You Back, ABC, The Love You Save. Michael's voice carried an emotional maturity that seemed impossible for someone his age. Between 1969 and 1975, the Jackson 5 generated tens of millions of dollars in revenue. But here's the catch: Michael and his brothers saw very little of it. Their father controlled the money, taking a percentage, and Motown took its cut. Industry standards of the era were brutal. A child star might see 5 to 10% of actual earnings. By the early 1970s, Michael understood the mathematics of his own exploitation. His hunger to control his own destiny was born from this injustice. The solo breakthrough and off-the-wall era. In 1971, at just 13 years old, Michael Jackson released his first solo album while still performing with the Jackson 5. It was the beginning of a calculated independence. But the real transformation came in 1979 with Off the Wall, produced by Quincy Jones. This album generated approximately $30 million in revenue, an astronomical sum for the time. Critically and commercially, it proved Michael could succeed on his own terms. More importantly, Michael was now old enough to negotiate his own contracts. He demanded higher royalty rates, ownership stakes in his masters, and control over his creative direction. These weren't just business decisions, they were acts of reclamation. By the early 1980s, Michael Jackson had become a businessman as much as a musician. Thriller, the moment everything changed. Then came 1982, and Thriller. The album was a cultural phenomenon unlike anything before or since. It would become the best-selling album of all time, with over 70 million copies sold worldwide. But Thriller wasn't just successful, it was a masterclass in monetization. Michael Jackson earned approximately $1 per album sold at his negotiated royalty rate. That's roughly $70 million from album sales alone. Add in concert revenue, merchandise, licensing deals, and music video income. The Thriller video alone became a cultural artifact that generated millions in secondary revenue. Within just a few years, Michael Jackson had accumulated somewhere between $200 and $300 million. He was, by many measures, the wealthiest entertainer on the planet. The boy from Gary, Indiana had not just succeeded, he had become a financial titan. Building the empire, the Neverland dream, with hundreds of millions in the bank, Michael Jackson began constructing a physical manifestation of his wealth and his psychology. In 1987, he purchased a 2,700-acre property in Santa Ynez Valley, California, for approximately $19.1 million. He named it Neverland Ranch, after the fictional location in Peter Pan. The ranch became an obsession. Michael invested an estimated $100 million, transforming it into a private theme park complete with a zoo, an amusement park, a movie theater, a recording studio, and housing for staff. It was part fantasy playground, part fortress, part museum to himself. The ranch employed hundreds of people and cost millions annually to maintain. It represented something deeper than wealth display. It was Michael Jackson building his own world where he could escape the consequences of celebrity and the complexities of adulthood. Neverland was his financial anchor and his psychological anchor, but it was also the beginning of his financial vulnerabilities. The music catalog strategy. While Neverland consumed attention and money, Michael Jackson was executing a brilliant financial strategy that few understood at the time. In 1985, he invested $3.9 million to purchase the rights to the Beatles' song catalog, the Northern Songs Publishing Collection. This wasn't frivolous spending, it was institutional wealth building. Music publishing rights generate income forever. Every time a Beatles song plays on the radio, in a commercial, in a movie, or at a sporting event, money flows to the rights holder. By 2000, Michael Jackson's music publishing portfolio was valued at nearly $1 billion. He owned not just the Beatles catalog, but also rights to Singing in the Rain, Lord of the Dance, and thousands of other songs. This was a financially sophisticated move that proved Michael wasn't just a musician and performer, he was a serious investor. His wealth wasn't entirely dependent on his own performances. He had created passive income streams that would theoretically sustain him forever. The bad and dangerous years, peak wealth and growing debts, the late 1980s and 1990s were Michael Jackson's commercial peak. Bad in 1987 sold 30 million copies. Dangerous in 1991 sold 35 million. His concert tours were the highest-grossing entertainment events ever staged. The Bad tour alone generated approximately $120 million. By 1993, financial analysts estimated Michael Jackson's net worth at between $500 million and $1 billion. He was genuinely one of the wealthiest individuals in entertainment history. But wealth and financial management are different things. While Michael's income was extraordinary, his spending was equally extraordinary. Neverland's annual operating costs exceeded $20 million. His touring expenses were lavish. He maintained entourages, paid for various lawsuits, and funded numerous charitable endeavors. Most critically, Michael Jackson began taking out loans against his future earnings. These weren't small loans. Banks were willing to lend hundreds of millions to someone generating as much revenue as Michael Jackson. But loans must be repaid with interest. The scandal years and loss of control. The 1990s also brought legal troubles that fundamentally altered Michael Jackson's life and finances. In 1993, he was accused of child sexual abuse. The case was settled out of court for approximately $20 million, a staggering sum that shocked the world but was barely noticeable in Michael's financial empire. But the accusation changed something psychologically. Michael's public image, his most valuable asset, was tarnished. Album sales remained strong, but the cultural mythology around him shifted. Then came 1998. Sony, which had been his financial partner and guarantor for many contracts, began reassessing their relationship with Michael Jackson. The company that had once been thrilled to associate with the king of pop now viewed him as a liability. His music sales were declining. His ability to generate blockbuster tours was uncertain. Lenders who had eagerly extended credit were becoming nervous. The financial infrastructure that supported Michael Jackson's wealth suddenly became fragile. The debt spiral and desperation. By the early 2000s, Michael Jackson's financial situation had become precarious. His debt had grown to an estimated $200 to $300 million. He owed money to banks for loans secured against his catalog. He owed taxes. He owed various creditors. Neverland was bleeding millions annually with little income to offset the expenses. Michael Jackson had committed a financial cardinal sin. He had spent beyond his means for so long that the accumulated debt became unsustainable. In 2003, he faced a new criminal accusation of child sexual abuse. Whether guilty or innocent, the legal costs were astronomical. He spent millions on his defense. The acquittal in 2005 didn't restore his finances, it only meant the bleeding stopped rather than accelerated. Meanwhile, his ability to generate income had diminished. His album sales were a fraction of their peak. No major tour was planned. His cultural relevance, while still present, was no longer mainstream. The boy who had built an empire had lost control of his own wealth machine. Creditors began circling. Banks demanded repayment of loans. By 2008, Neverland was in serious jeopardy. Michael Jackson faced the possibility of losing the ranch that had become the physical symbol of his success. The Final Years, Legacy and Lessons. In 2008 and 2009, Michael Jackson attempted one final financial reset. He negotiated a massive deal with concert promoter AEG Live to stage a comeback residency in London. The This Is It tour was projected to generate billions in revenue and restore his financial position. But on June 25, 2009, Michael Jackson died suddenly. He was 50 years old. At his death, his estate was worth somewhere between $300 and $400 million, but it was heavily burdened by debt. His creditors filed claims. Taxes were owed. Neverland had to be sold. Over the subsequent years, his estate has actually become more valuable through careful management and licensing. Ironically, Michael Jackson's death led to renewed interest in his music and a financially sophisticated handling of his catalog by his estate trustees. As of 2024, his net worth measured by the value of his assets and ongoing royalties has exceeded $1 billion. But this wealth exists as an abstract figure. Michael Jackson never enjoyed it. His story is a cautionary tale about the difference between income and wealth, between fame and financial security. $1 billion built on talent, innovation, and financial acumen was nearly lost because of spending, debt, and loss of cultural relevance. It's a reminder that even the most successful people can lose control of their empires if they don't treat wealth with the seriousness it demands. Michael Jackson's story reveals an uncomfortable truth. Having billions of dollars and keeping billions of dollars are entirely different challenges. The king of pop had both the talent and the intelligence to build an empire, but ultimately couldn't manage the psychology of unlimited wealth. He is a reminder that financial literacy is just as important as talent, and that control over one's finances is the truest form of freedom. His music lives on, his influence persists, but his cautionary tale about wealth management is just as important. What do you think was Michael Jackson's biggest financial mistake? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, smash the like button and subscribe so you never miss a video like this one.